Okay, so we are going to do a sound check on my Suzuki Gladius, the exhaust. This is a stock model exhaust. So we're going to do a sound check on it, and then when I get the new exhaust on there, we will do a sound check of the difference. So in my garage, exhaust is very quiet. Most of the engine or noise that you are hearing is coming directly from the engine. Nothing really from the exhaust. It's very quiet. So the exhaust that I'm looking at doing is just to give it more of a exhaust profile, so that when I'm riding on the road, people can hear me if they can't see me. So we'll stay tuned, and we'll be back to get the other exhaust on and do a sound check with that. Thank you. Okay, so now we've got the M4 exhaust installed here. On the other exhaust, there was an inner ring that had to come off as well as the exhaust. Those have been packed in a box together with the bolt that held it on there. Was a little bit of wrestling around to get it on there, but I think it's looking good, matching the black of the bike. Not sticking out like I thought the other one did. And it is a lot lighter. It is a lot lighter than the other one. This box, when shipping weight was 5 pounds, and all it had was the exhaust. So materials didn't add much to the weight. The other one, easy 10 pounds. Haven't actually weighed it, but yeah, so we took about 5 pounds estimated off the bike just by switching out the exhaust. So we'll start her up and take a listen. Oh baby. Throatier, definitely throater, got a deeper rumble to it. Still hear some engine noise, but definitely hear the exhaust. The other one you couldn't really hear the exhaust, it didn't emit a lot of noise. So, if you've noticed, with the last section of the video with the stock mount, a lot of the noise that you were hearing was engine. The crankshaft's working, it's doing its thing. Not a lot of noise from the exhaust itself. Now that we've replaced it, that exhaust adds a rumble to it, which is exactly what I wanted for the bike. I wanted something that gave it a meatier profile. And that's exactly what it does, because that's the bike asks for it. I mean, you look at it. It looks like a cruiser. It looks like a bike that wants to have a throatier sound to it versus just engine noise. So definitely impressed. Happy with the exhaust. It's half the weight. Definitely gives it some sound, and that's what I wanted, because if you have a quiet bike and you're running down the road, nobody can hear you. Nobody can hear you, and that's what makes the difference with what you're going to have an accident, or if you're not going to have an accident. If you have noise, great. If you have a bike that doesn't have noise and you have friends that do, you're fine there, but if you're out on your own, it's better to have the noise. So thank you for watching. We'll be installing a clutch control, a breakaway clutch, or breakaway throttle lock. So we're getting that done here next, and Should be ready for the road with one thing left, and that is going to be the seat. Which, the seat isn't bad. It's waterproof. It's not bad, but it doesn't have a lot of cushion, especially if you're going for long rides. So I've got one coming in. It's going to take a while to get here, and when that does, I'll do a review on it. Thank you, and have a good day. Alright, and we're back. You've seen that we did the exhaust. That's all done. I just got my cruise control on here. This is a Breakaway Throttle control. Pretty nice piece of equipment. Goes under here. And it just kind of wraps around the equipment here. So I had to scoot this out a little bit to make room for the center piece, which is the stabilizing piece for the handlebars. And this is on the actual throttle pin that goes through, and we've got this device right here, which when you pull the brake when it's engaged, and I'll show you in a minute, it'll disengage the throttle. So let's say, switch hands here, so we got turn on the throttle, you're moving down the road, push the button in. It's a tight push. You really got to give it a good push to get it in there. And now my throttle is in one place. Okay? Now if I were to all of a sudden stop, my throttle's done and it's disengaged, and I don't have to worry about it. There's another thing when you turn the throttle, you engage, still in the same position. And if you don't want to hit the brake and you're just wanting to manually throttle, you can push this button right here. Hear it on disengage, let go. And pretty simple piece of equipment. A lot of Harleys have a little device under here that screws in there. Personally, I don't know how well they work. I've never used one of them. But with my inexperience with them, I just think they may be a safety hazard. This one was much more appealing to me. The screw wouldn't have worked on my bike anyways, but this is much more appealing to me because if you engage, cruising down the road, oh crap, gotta stop, disengages. I mean, not that you're gonna lay on the front brake, but it's there, it'll disengage. You won't have to worry about your throttle necessarily sticking, and you're going to get out of control. It just seemed much more safer product to put on my bike. So when you throttle engage, and if you want to cruise up, you can turn the handle without disengaging, turn it down, turn it off. So, yeah. I thought this was a much better product for me. Granted, my hand sits more to the outside because it does push my hand out. I was thinking of doing better grips because this is kind of annoying, but we'll work with it. And if it does get to a point where I want to change my grips, I'm going to have to change my throttle tube to do that. So it's going to be a bit of work to figure out which throttle tube would work for it. I've talked to the guys at the shop, and it did seem to be more trouble than it was worth. I did get some throttle tubes that I thought would look good on the bike, but these will not work because of the throttle tube on here. I could make some modifications to it to change it out, be able to move this over slightly and not have the lip in the back, or maybe just modify the lip in the back where this doesn't stick up as much. But I definitely like the cruise control. I think it works quite well in its simplicity. Alright, well, thank you for watching this segment of my bike mod. Monster is now over 700 miles, has had her first oil change, and she's 4 years old. Looking pretty good. The first owner didn't do anything to the bike. except for rode it 113 miles. That's it during the 3 years, 4 years that they had it. And put frame sliders on it. I gotta get my saddlebags back on there. And we're ready to hit the road. Thank you and have a good day.